Guys try to figure it out. And, you know, this, like you said, this Charlotte's an animal of its own. It's unlike anything they've ever driven, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Now, you hinted at it a little bit earlier, but now we're really going to put you on the spot, Todd. Who is your pick to win tonight?
Well, I hate to keep doing this every week, but I got to go with the guy that's been running the most consistent. And I think the Ford truck is going to do it again. Christopher is on his game. He's up front again. The KBM has got it going on with this mile-and-a-half program.
Yeah, so far this season, starting on the pole, has bode very well as to who is going to win the race. Let's now send it to Vince Welch, Phil Parsons, and Michael Waltrip for the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
In NASCAR's backyard for the 15th year, Charlotte Motor Speedway hosts the Camping World Truck Series. A season ago, veteran Matt Crafton started mid-pack but finished at the front for his 13th career victory, but he hasn't won since. He returns tonight with a fast truck. Can he go back-to-back? 1 week ago, 20-year-old Ben Rhodes had his first career victory in sight until a piece of debris turned his dream into a nightmare. How will he respond tonight? Last week at Kansas, victory fell into the lap of Kyle Busch, but he's earned plenty through the years. He's a 47-time winner, and it all began right here, site of his first career win. Busch doesn't have to look past his own garage for the driver he may have to beat. KBM's own Christopher Bell is on pole for the third time this season. Can he parlay starting first into finishing first? A lot of good storylines for this one tonight. Great to have you with us here in Charlotte, along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons. I'm Vince Welch. We've had 4 races, and we've had 4 different winners. But, Phil, when you come to Charlotte and you talk trucks, Kyle Busch has got to be at the top of the conversation, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I want you to disregard the fact that he started 135 races here in the Truck Series, and he's won over a third of them. And of those 47 wins you talk about, 24 of those wins came on mile-and-a-halfs, 11 more than his closest competitor. But disregard all that. He's won 6 times here in a truck at this racetrack, 8 times in an Xfinity car, 14 wins here at this racetrack. But the problem is, all the talk in the garage here is he has the fastest truck. Last night they practiced. He had the most consistent long-run speed, so everyone says that's who you're going to have to beat, which is a huge surprise. And, oh, by the way, last week we were on a mile-and-a-half at Kansas, right? Well, who went to victory lane there? Well, Kyle Busch probably went to victory lane, or I would think. Got lucky a little bit here, but there he takes the checkered flag, gets to celebrate again for the 47th time in his career here in the Truck Series. He's the guy, Michael, that you have to beat.
So am I supposed to disregard that as well?
Yes.
I mean, you've given me a lot of instruction here.
Everything I said, just disregard.
Well, let me tell you something you better watch out for, and it's a couple of kids. Ben Rhodes had that race last week in Kansas, won. He was driving away from Kyle Busch late. His engine expired. And look at Chase Briscoe, another young racer, 22 years old. He has a crash here. Bam, into the outside wall, still hung on to a top 5 finish. These trucks were both fast last night. These kids are very hungry and ready to go to victory lane. I think they can get the job done.
We haven't mentioned Matt Crafton, who won this race last year, and he's a 2-time winner here at Charlotte.
Okay, let's talk about Johnny Sauter then. He had one of the best trucks last night. He's as confident as I've ever seen him. There's a lot of guys hungry to take this victory away from the guy that they'll have to take it from. Disregard him. His name's Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter is just the defending champion, says he's got the best truck he's ever had here. Well, let's go trackside for opening ceremonies. Getting ready to get things going here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the University of North Carolina at Charlotte ROTC Detachment Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Motor Racing Outreach Chaplain Lonnie Klaus offers our invocation.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege to be here at Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight. Lord, we're also thankful to live in the United States of America. Lord, we ask that you would continue to protect our country, and we give you thanks for those that do. Lord, may your hand of blessing and protection be upon this event. Protect each and every person, and we will give you the thanks for all these things, for you are the giver of all good things. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
This 2015 America's Got Talent semifinalist group from Sylvan, North Carolina have performed all over the United States and had the honor of performing 6 concerts for our military men and women in the Persian Gulf. Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Mountain Fever recording artist Summer Brook and the Mountain Faith Band.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Get ready to go. 13 rookies in the field tonight. Who's it going to be? Will one get their first ever victory at Charlotte?
Charlotte Motor Speedway, the biggest game of chance on wheels. Evenly balanced, man and machine. Anything can and usually does happen. Like the butterflies of man. And the green flag wins. The roughest, the meanest racing event. And a challenge every inch of the way. It is a race where driving skill is essential, where mechanical perfection is mandatory. And who said you had to have wings to fly?
It's great to be at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Race number 5. It's the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Great to have you with us tonight on a picture-perfect evening. Very comfortable temperature. Along with Michael Waltrip and Phil Parsons, I'm Vince Welch. Downstairs on pit road, it's Caitlin Vincey and Hermie Sadler. Hello, Hermie.
Hello, Vince. When you think about winning on mile-and-a-half racetracks in the Camping World Truck Series, you think of Kyle Busch, but you also think of Matt Crafton. 9 wins on mile-and-a-half racetracks, including 2 here at Charlotte. But this team needs to turn it around if they want to win another championship. Look at the last 21 races versus the previous 21. No wins, no poles, only 188 laps led. They know they need to turn it around tonight and go to victory lane to have a shot at title number 2 for Team 88. Caitlin Vincey.
Well, Hermie, John Hunter Nemechek is coming off a top 5 performance at Kansas last week. Told me earlier I have more incentive to work harder at the racetrack and the shop than ever before. Why? Because he only has 8 sold races for the season. So every race matters, every finish matters to try and gain more sponsors for the rest of the year. He qualified 13th for today's race. Is going to be looking for another strong run today. Vince?
Well, and he's a 3-time winner, and he had a terrific run last week, finishing 3rd at Kansas. So many good contenders here tonight. Let's go downstairs for the command.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, winner of the North Carolina Education Lottery Reward Zone, Lucy Schaefer.
Hello, Charlotte. Drivers, start your engines.
winners in 4 races. Kaz Gralla, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch. Who adds their name to the list tonight? Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's race number 5 of 23, and it's the 3rd time this season we've been on the mile and a half. The first 2 mile-and-a-half races were won by Kyle Busch Motorsports, but Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch victorious in those races. So, Michael, as we take a look at this track description, Camping World track description, what makes this mile and a half unique from the others?
Just the tremendous banking and the way you leave these relatively flat 5-degree straightaways and dive down into the 24 degrees of banking. We've had 3 mile-and-a-halves. This is the 3rd, but Phil, it drives nothing like the other 2. This place is unique.
Got some bumps down there in 3 and 4 too, right?
How about our race analysis, Phil?
See, this race is 134 laps, 201 miles. You see our stages. Each stage is, the first 2 stages are 40 laps apiece, and then the final stage will be 54 laps. Matt Crafton was our winner last year.
Fuel mileage shouldn't come into play in this, the 54 laps. Even that last stint, they should be fine on fuel to the end.
Unless we go overtime.
Unless we go overtime. There's our starting lineups for tonight. Christopher Bell on pole for the 3rd time this season.
And there's Chase Briscoe. I talked about the speed in that truck. Wisconsin's Johnny Sauter, Vegas's Kyle Busch, Matt Crafton, a strong truck this weekend as well.
Got Brett Moffitt, a winner last year in Michigan, back in row number 4 with a high school graduate, Austin Cindric.
How about that? Cindric graduated from high school this morning, and he's going to go racing in NASCAR tonight. Love it.
Great run for Parker Kligerman. You see Ryan Truex. He's got a fast truck as well. We've got some real players racing from deep in the field, Phil.
There's Noah Gregson, had a very fast truck in qualifying, got loose over in 3 and 4, all the way back outside the top 15.
It's 32 trucks tonight. Regan Smith in there as well. Just got the call to sub for Eric Amarola in the 43 Cup car. And here he is tonight, running the truck.
Great speed for Justin Haley in Kansas last week. He's starting back in the field. There's Stuart Friesen. Almost crashed that 52 truck in qualifying. Watch for him to come through the field.
The North Carolina Education Lottery 200, 32 trucks to roll off and start this race tonight. Final stories downstairs, beginning with Kaylin.
Well, Vince, Joe Shear Jr. is the crew chief for Johnny Sauter, and Johnny said earlier Charlotte hasn't always been the best place for him, but do you feel like you have a truck that can get him his first win here?
Yeah, for sure. We've been working really hard at GMS, and we've been having a great season this year, and we come here and had a good practice and good qualifying, so we're looking forward to a good race.
Well, good luck to you. Johnny Sauter's finished in the top 5 the last 3 races in a row, Hermie.
Well, Caitlin, Mike Hillman Jr. is the crew chief for Chase Briscoe. Got your guy on the front row. You've been here with veteran drivers before. Tonight you're here with a rookie. What has impressed you most about your young driver?
As quick as his learning curve has developed, you know, Hermie, he's done a heck of a job catching on really fast. We've had 2 really good mile-and-a-half runs so far, and hopefully here at Charlotte we'll work on it all night and be there at the end.
Yes. Chase Briscoe, his crew chief, they got starting on the outside pole. Could be a big one tonight for them.
Well, he's been such an impressive rookie driver already this season in just 4 races. Let's take a look at our onboard cameras.
Here's 18-year-old Justin Haley coming off that big ARCA Racing Series win a couple weeks ago at Talladega. He's in the Levine's Children's Hospital Chevy, and he will start from the 23rd spot.
Let's hop up inside the top 10 and get on board with our in-race reporter. This is Austin Cindric in his Ford onboard. Graduated from high school, like we said earlier. Let's see if we can get a word with Austin. Hey, Austin Cindric, it's Michael Waltrip in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Well, congratulations on your high school graduation. You look really comfortable in that truck. How intimidating is it diving off into these big banks here at Charlotte?
Well, when I got guys like Johnny Sauter, Kyle Busch, and Matt Crafton in front of me, I'm falling in pretty good company. So as long as I fall on their tire tracks, we should be able to have a good night. Maybe hopefully get around them.
Well, I love your thinking. You had a top 10 last week. You're gaining some momentum, doing a good job behind the wheel of that Ford truck.
Yes, sir. Cool to have those guys back on us. Hopefully we can have a good solid night.
All right, we're going to check in with you throughout the night. Thanks for being our in-race reporter. We'll check with you later.
10-4. Talk to you in a bit.
Guys, why don't we ride along with a guy that won this race last year, but that's his last one. We talk about Matt Crafton needing to go to victory lane. He's in the Toyota onboard, and he will start that Menards Toyota from the 6th spot.
Well, disregard the fact that he's starting fourth and disregard the fact that he's won 47 races. But do regard the fact that we're going to be on board with one of the best racers in truck history, Kyle Busch. He's going to start his Toyota from the 4th position, and he's going to be fun to watch tonight.
What's key? We mentioned 13 rookies in this field. What's key for the young guys to execute tonight, to put themselves in position like Ben Rhodes was in last week at Kansas, battling Kyle Busch for the lead and the win?
I think it's feedback to your crew chief, because this racetrack changes. It's going to be drastically different now than it was during qualifying a couple hours ago. Get that good feedback to your crew chief and let him make some proper changes.
And I think it's going to be a little bit of patience, Vince. We saw Ben Rhodes nearly make a mistake early in the race last week at Kansas that cost us that would have cost us the opportunity to see how special he was that night. Make sure you take it easy on this start. Don't make a move that could cost you your evening. Be patient early and try to get better as the night progresses.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the hard work getting this truck ready. Everything we did in Kansas last week. Gonna put on a good show here. Get us top 5. We get us a win, but most importantly, bring it home in one piece. Should be a good race. Thank you, guys.
That's the kid. He knew that early in that race at Kansas he had put himself in a real bind, overcame it, nearly won the event. Can he do it again tonight?
Just 20 years old. Ben Rhodes in his 2nd year in the Camping World Truck Series.
Phil, check out Christopher Bell. He's elected to start on the outside of row 1, thinking that maybe that would be the better preferred line down into turn 1.
A couple of old guys on the front row. They're both 22.
Christopher Bell, as Michael indicated, on the outside, won earlier this season at Atlanta. Chase Briscoe, the rookie, on the inside, drives for Brad Keselowski Racing. Charlotte Motor Speedway, race number 5. It's underway. Bell to the point with help from his teammate and truck owner Kyle Busch in 2nd.
Chase Briscoe was just a little bit slow on the start. May have been a little wheel spin, but Kyle Busch is going to make sure his teammate is up front.
Johnny Sauter looking early for Matt Crafton on the inside, Mike.
Well, we talked about these flat straightaways, 5 degrees. That makes it really challenging, Phil, to get any grip on the starts and restarts. So we'll watch for that wheel spin all night long, see who's able to get off the line good.
A couple of veterans side by side there. Sauter in the blue and white 21 on board with Matt Crafton, the 2-time series champ.
I love that outside groove is working in already. They did some tire dragging here this week that really let that second groove come in a little bit quicker.
Remember, we got a lot of teenagers, some young kids out here. This is a clean start. This is exactly what they needed tonight. Get themselves in a position to run some laps. Learn about this racetrack right now. It's so much different than it was earlier today when they qualified. Find out what their truck has and how they can grip.
On board with Austin Cindric. That's his teammate Briscoe to the right. Matt Crafton just ahead of him in that bright yellow Toyota Tundra.
Chase jumped to the outside and tried to make the move.
Oh, Bell
trying
to hang on to it.
I think he is.
Left rear. Keep it up top here. It's still green. The left rear's down. Got a whole bunch more coming. Just keep running up top.
Amazing job saving that truck.
Run the top down the back. One more. Then get to the bottom. Come to the bottom here. Come to the bottom quick.
Yeah, the thing is, get to the bottom and slow that truck down, Phil. He knows if he can get back to pit road and he doesn't blow that left rear tire out, he can still win this race. If he has too much speed getting back to the pits, that tire will come apart and tear that truck to pieces.
Yeah, we have free passes. We have wave arounds. This is certainly not an end to his night.
Problem early for the pole winner, Christopher Bell. Watch him in the 4.
What an amazing job he did keeping that truck out of the wall. Wow. Look at Johnny Sauter. Wow.
How about from Kyle Busch's view?
21 starting to make big gains here. What's that about? Outside, all clear.
Kyle Busch is like, hey, kid, be careful. That's my truck. You're sliding around. But Christopher Bell did an amazing job hanging onto that thing. And you can see just a little bit of contact on that right rear corner to the outside wall. Hermie, they're in their box.
You know, Christopher Bell did a great job to not destroy the left rear quarter panel of that truck. He never said a single word as he was coming around the apron, making it to his pit stall. Left sides only, the 4 down and away. He'll have some ground to make up.
Well, the 4 of Bell faced adversity just last week at Kansas. Remember, they got caught on the pit strategy late in the race. He went from running in the front to having to go to the back, restarted 16th with just 30 laps to go and drove it back up to 4th. His crew chief, Rudy Fugle, told me today, he said, I don't mind a little adversity. It makes them tough, makes them better. They learn how to race in adverse situations. Well, Bell certainly is in that kind of situation tonight.
And I like that call by Rudy Fugle as we watch a good battle between Parker Kligerman and Austin Cindric. They just changed 2 left sides to get that truck. Make sure they only lost 1 lap, not 2 laps.
What a great move by Kligerman in that 75 truck. He goes around Cindric. You can see Ryan Truex and Brett Moffitt are lined up on the bottom, taking spots away from the high school graduate. I mean, they're probably all high school graduates, but his was today, I mean.
The most recent high school graduate.
Riding on with Cindric, who's running 9th. That's a look ahead at Ryan Truex in the 8th position. And that 16 truck owned by Shiggy Hattori. Scott Zipadelli, the crew chief, came in this weekend with high expectations as well after a strong run last week. 6th place finish at Kansas. Problems early for our pole winner, Christopher Bell. Left rear went down. A little bit of contact with the wall.
What goes around comes around. And as a sport that races in laps, we know that a clean race pays off in the finish. It's why NASCAR commits to green programs and biofuel, like Sunoco Green E15, so we can offset our carbon emissions. We're not going to stop making a difference, and neither should you. Learn how you can help by visiting NASCAR.com/green today.
I see heartbreak, disappointment, and tears.
Is it Kentucky Speedway?
Yes. You must stay away from turn 3.
No, not again.
You mustn't go into turn 3.
It's the toughest turn on the circuit. The best love it. Others fear it. Don't miss the Quaker State 400 presented by Advance Auto Parts, July 8th.
Some trucks on pit road. Saw in our split screen coverage during commercial break that the 02 of Austin Hill spun, brought out the caution. Here's what happened.
He was running inside the top 15, Vince, down on the bottom of the racetrack. It looks like he just tried to push it a little hard on entry on the inside of Kaz Grala, and around it goes. Nice job of gassing it up and keeping it out of that outside wall.
Yeah, Kaz wasn't that close to him. Kaz didn't suck him around, but a little bit too loose there early on for Austin.
And you can see, look at John Hunter Nemechek driving right into that smoke field. He can't see a thing. He just has to trust his spotter and hope that truck slides down off the bank.
Christopher Bell took advantage of the break to come back in for more service as well.
Headbander on your neck.
I hated that.
Yeah, I hated it too.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, as we take a look at our Ford track facts on the 1.5 miles this season. Brad Keselowski racing and what his 2 drivers have done.
See, Chase had that top 5 finish on the 1.5 miles last week. Austin with a top 10. Talked to Austin's dad, Tim Cindric, who works president of Penske Racing, and he said, Austin said that my season starts right now after that top 10 at Kansas last week.
Let's check in real quickly with Hermie.
Vince, Matt Crafton started 6th. He's up to 3rd. Was complaining about a tight situation center off. Crew Chief Junior Joyner thinks they were on the splitter to start. Should be better on this restart.
We should point out as well that Christopher Bell, the pole winner who had that left rear go down, came back into pit road during this caution, but pitted before the pits were actually open, so he'll go back to the tail end. No real harm there as we are just 13 laps into this race. Back under green with Kyle Busch on the outside. Johnny Sauter inside. Busch to the front.
Well, you could see that accordion. Everybody started seizing up, and the farther back they went, the more trouble they got into.
Yeah, Kyle Busch brought them down at a really reduced pace. That's what a good racer will do. He'll switch things up on you in that restart box so you don't start to see a trend and try to jump them. Johnny Sauter did a nice job, though, and hung really close to Busch. However, Chase Briscoe's on the outside of Sauter. By the way, Jennifer Jo Cobb got the free pass on that caution that was brought out by Austin Hill. As Kyle Busch starts to leg it out a little bit.
See Ryan Truex in the 16 truck trying to take a look underneath the 17 of Timothy Peters. Matt Crafton, the 88 yellow truck, side by side with Ben Rhodes in the 27.
On board with Austin Cindric. Running 8th. Good run off turn 4. Look at the momentum he gains right down there on that yellow line. Is able to pull right up beside Timothy Peters as they exit the turn.
Got to be really careful there as he enters that corner. Trucks have a tendency to get really loose when you're underneath another truck side by side.
Here's Christopher Bell in that 4 truck on the left side of your screen coming from the back. And if you're a Bell fan, just remember, in 2015, just a couple of years ago, Eric Jones was driving the 4 truck, was late to the driver's meeting, had to start at the rear of the field. He came back and finished second by just inches to Casey Kane. And you can get from the back to the front, so the night is not over by any stretch for Christopher Bell as he starts to march his way back through, but still a long way to go. Well, he's a lap down, Vince. That's the biggest problem. So as these trucks, leaders start to catch the back of the field, that could put Bell in a bind all night long. But what I like, Phil, is this line we're seeing him run. Wherever other trucks aren't running, he just goes there. He's not shy about sticking that truck up on the outside. Obviously, a really fast Toyota. He just needs to catch a break to get back on the lead lap.
What he needs is a quick caution right now, so we're going to see a good side-by-side battle between Parker Kligerman in the 75 and Austin Cindric in the 19. That's the battle for 8th.
And right behind him is Brett Moffitt in that 7 for Red Horse Racing, a winner last year at Michigan. Moffitt's had a good truck here this weekend, trying to find the sweet spot on it, but hasn't been great, but they've been tweaking. Felt like he had a top 5 truck, Vince. He's talked about that in our qualifying show. Now he's moving inside of Cindric, trying to grab that spot away, but here comes Ross Chastain. Chastain with a couple of top 10 finishes this year in that 66 truck. He's been really good. There's some great stories throughout the field in the Camping World Truck Series. Guys that can run up to the front and get a top 5 finish. John Hunter Nemechek going to the bottom, taking a look inside. Moffitt. That was an interesting line into the corner, wasn't it? He's making it work.
Yeah, it looked like a real bad angle. He entered so shallow, but he was able to get the momentum through the center, pull up beside the 7 of Moffitt. See if he can get down in turn number 1 here and make some ground up. It's Noah Gregson behind them on the outside in that black truck, and then down on the white line, the blue and white of Brandon Jones. Good to see him back in the series, his first start of the season in the 99. Yeah, he's up to 13, so good start to this race for Jones. Just behind him is that Gregson truck, the black 18 that you talked about, Vince. Man, he about wrecked that truck in qualifying, so. And it was fast, too. He was tracking to be about the quickest truck in round number 1. Got real loose over in 3 and 4 and ended up outside the top 12. Yeah, no question. Gregson has the speed. He was second fastest yesterday in practice. Let's check in with Caitlin.
Well, you guys were talking about Brandon Jones, and I checked in with his crew chief, Shane Huffman, and he told me even though they didn't have a good qualifying effort, they felt like once the race got underway that this would be a good truck. And the fact is, they are not new to each other either as a driver. Crew chief pairing Shane and Brandon worked together in the K&N series, ARCA, and the trucks. They almost ran a full season in the truck series together back in 2015. So they have a good relationship relationship with each other, not running for points. So Shane tells me they can afford to be aggressive on some strategy as well.
And even though it's the first race of the season for Jones, having that relationship with his crew chief really is an advantage when you step into the series for the first time.
Yeah, because they're speaking the same language, because they're used to each other.
22 of 40 complete in stage one. Kyle Busch out front. On board with Kyle Busch. He's led 26 of the 28 laps so far here tonight. The pole winner, Christopher Bell, had a left rear go down early in the race on lap 3, so he's a lap down. There's a look at Bell. Had to go in, fortunately for Bell, didn't do any significant damage to his truck, but it did put him a lap down.
That's Brandon Jones, the 99 that he's chasing down. Brandon right now runs in the 14th spot, so he's made good progress, but he's a lap down right now.
Yeah, he can't run fast enough to make that up, Phil. It's just too many slower trucks have gone laps down ahead of him, so he is not in a position to get the free pass. The only thing he can do is push that truck as hard as he can so he knows what kind of adjustments to ask for, what he might need to do to make it even faster, so if he does happen to get a lap back, he can get in contention for the win. And I think maybe the only way he could get that lap back possibly is to stay out and try to get to take the wave around, maybe even at the end of this stage coming up here in about 10 laps.
Yeah, I think I would take that chance. He pitted on lap number 10, so he should be able to go to somewhere around 65 or something like that. The stage end is going to be at lap 40. Then he'll run a few caution laps, so I think it's probably worth a gamble at this point.
Remember, 3 stages. The first stage ends, as Michael and Phil discussed, at lap 40, and just about 9 laps from now.
So Johnny Sauter moved way up the racetrack, trying to find a little bit of grip up there, see if he can chase down that 29 of Chase Briscoe back down through the middle here in 1 and 2.
I guarantee you these Monster Energy Cup drivers are watching this truck race and smiling, seeing all these different grooves that are available to them here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Run low, run high, go wherever you want. There's grip everywhere, all over the track. With the exception of maybe where Matt Mills just really got high, maybe almost got in that outside wall. Johnny Sauter had to duck to the bottom in that 21 truck around the 44. Oh, we got a spinner.
Caution is out, and it's the 19 of all.
Put the tires on it. We didn't hit anything.
8 laps left in this first stage.
If we flat spotted them or got a flat, if not around.
Cindric was running 9th at the time. So Matt Mills was the first one a lap down.
We saw Mills nearly into the outside wall.
Doug Randolph called Austin Cindric straight to pit road here. Let's don't take a chance of tearing that truck up anymore with flat tires. You can see a little bit of damage to that right rear corner now.
They were going to go a lap down anyway, Phil, because he couldn't run any speed getting back. And so right to pit road, you can see that right rear tire is already torn to pieces. He would have done a lot of damage to that 19 truck had he have elected to stay on the track.
Team doing a little repair to that right rear you saw as well. There's the spin. Let's ride on board with Cindric and see what he was experiencing.
Don't give that up. One back in line. Bottom it. Quick. Hold on to it here.
Be a good battling with Ross Chastain. It didn't look like there was any contact, but the thing snapped around pretty quick, didn't it?
It makes you wonder if maybe that right rear tire we saw was tore all to pieces. Maybe he had a leak in that right rear. It just got loose so quickly. It'd be hard to believe that it would have stepped out like that. You could see a little tire debris there as he slid. That could have happened after the spin, obviously, but it might have also precipitated it.
So how does this impact our pole winner, Christopher Bell? Started on pole, had to fell down a lap when he had that left rear go down. There's 8 drivers that are at least a lap down at this point, and Bell not the first of those 8.
Well, he would love for everyone to come down pit road and let him take the waiver on, but it's not going to happen. We're so close to the end of the first stage. We're going to have some guys back outside the top 5 head to pit road.
So many differing strategies. It's not either one is going to work for him, right?
And that's what I love about the stage racing is you have these strategies. As Parker Kligerman brings that food country Toyota to pit road.
And that Food Country Toyota will not come to pit road when we end this stage. They'll have that track position. We're going to see a flip in the standings when we go back to racing for stage 2. Kyle Busch out front. That'll be history. He'll have to race his way through the field.
That's Ross Chastain in the 66. Cody Coughlin in the 13.
Yeah, most of these trucks here, unless they're really, really bad, need another adjustment, will stay out when the stage ends here in a few laps.
And think about Christopher Bell. He's the fastest truck a lap down. He's probably going to be able to pass those trucks that are a lap down, get into position for the free pass when the stage ends. This could be a big break for Christopher Bell, and it's going to be a big break for some of our drivers that were racing outside of the top 10 using this stage and their strategy to get track position and get up front.
So our race leader, Kyle Busch, he stayed out, those up front. Briscoe, Sauter, Crafton, Rhodes, etc. elected to stay out. They'll wait for the end of the stage, which, as you see there in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, just 6 laps remaining in stage number 1. Stage 1, 40 laps. Stage 2, 40 laps. And then that third and final stage, 54 laps.
Phil, are you at all surprised that maybe Kyle Busch didn't come to pit road there? You know, winning a stage doesn't mean anything to him. He's a Monster Energy Cup driver. That playoff point doesn't happen for him. If he comes to pit road here, gets the lead for the start of stage 2, and then races to the end of stage 2 with that track position, that could have been an advantage.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, because he doesn't need that point. As we see Austin Hill with certainly a situation of fire underneath that truck.
Maybe Kyle Busch decides he's going to stay out because he doesn't want to allow Briscoe or Sauter or Crafton, one of those other guys, to get that playoff point for winning the stage.
That's a possibility
now
for
you're
sure.
talking, Vince. Playing a little defense, huh?
Yep. But he will definitely have some trucks to drive through. As you mentioned, Mikey, had he pitted now, come back out, more than likely when the stage ended, he would be our leader once again after the trucks in front of him pitted. Now he's going to have to make his way through traffic.
And you and I both had a big smile on our face when that caution came out, because we knew it was going to mix up the running order, and we're going to see some really fun racing because of stage racing. That's why we're such fans of this format that NASCAR has implemented.
Well, I don't like the looks of what's going on underneath that 0-2 of Austin Hill.
He's staying on the racetrack. He's going to line up here for this restart.
You'd think it'd blow out, right, going that fast?
You would hope so.
Norm Benning in the 6th truck down on the bottom of the racetrack. Norm's just 1 lap down in the 28th position. I think that truck needs to come to pit road right now.
Getting ready for the restart here. It's going to be a dash when they cross the line. There's going to be 4 laps to go in stage 1. That's Kyle Busch, the leader, on the outside, and Chase Briscoe on the inside. A couple of series champs right behind him, and Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. And the green waves again at Charlotte.
What a great restart that time by Chase Briscoe. But look at that 51 truck motor from the outside.
With a big push from Matt Crafton in that number 88 Toyota.
So Parker Kligerman on the high side, making it 3 wide there.
3, 4 wide, all the way back into the pack. Everybody battling.
Trying to get stage points, Vince.
Remember, the top 10 all receive points as long as they're running for the championship here in the Truck Series. Of course, Kyle Busch is not. But Crafton and Briscoe and Sauter.
Remember, Johnny Sauter has received points in every single stage this year through the first 4 races.
He's going to keep that streak alive.
There, John Hunter Nemechek jumps to the inside, making it 3 wide.
Wow, there was a near crash back in this big scrum you're seeing here. Look at this, 3 wide. The Ford truck around the outside of Austin Wayne Self, and he's closing in on Stuart Friesen. That 19 truck just ahead, the blue truck, that's the Ford's target. That's who Christopher L needs to pass. Cindric right now is in the free pass position.
Wow, Briscoe got way loose there on the bottom underneath Sauter.
Look at that heavy traffic left side of your screen, as you mentioned, Michael. That's the battle for the free pass. Right in the middle of that blue and white number 19. He's the guy in the spot right now. Christopher Bell needs to get around Stuart Friesen and get in front of that 19 truck.
1 lap to go in this stage.
Look at Austin in the middle and 3 wide.
Cindric's doing a great job getting himself away from Christopher Bell. You can see the 19 truck's handling well now, racing alongside Brett Moffitt. He just needs to stay ahead of the Ford truck in order to get back on the lead lap. Looks like he's going to be able to do it, Phil.
Here comes Kyle Busch, headed to the line to end stage number 1, and Kyle Busch wins the first stage. Stage points to Sauter, Nemechek, Crafton, Briscoe, Rhodes, Chastain, Truex, Gregson, Peters. They're in the top 10.
I talked about a near miss down in turn 1. Watch this save.
Watch the 4 of Christopher Bell. Collected it. Kyle Busch with his 3rd stage win of the season, but he's not eligible for championship points. Either is Ross Chastain, but you see the truck championship eligible drivers that did pick up some stage points here at the end of stage 1. The leaders and everybody else getting ready to come to pit road. Let's go downstairs and begin with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, the numbers don't lie. Kyle Busch, a 6-time winner here. This is also the place he got his first career truck win in 05. They brought a brand new truck. It does not lack speed. He said just a little tight off exit of 4. They're going to do 4 tires, fuel, add some tape to the grill as well for the race leader. Now, as far as Johnny Sauter goes, he's the only driver who's gotten stage points in every race so far this year. Happy all overall, needs the truck to turn a little bit better. Entry is pretty solid, though, for the 21. Hermie?
Matt Crafton is tight on exit of each corner. He asked for a left rear air pressure adjustment to the 88. The 29 was tight on the long run, but got really loose after that caution when he was in traffic. So it'll be 4 tires, fuel, and a wedge adjustment for the 29.
See the teams doing their work on pit road.
A lot of strategy on this pit stop as well. Some trucks going with 0 tires.
After having come in already once this race at the last caution.
Hey, Kyle Busch, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Good, buddy. It looks like it's going pretty good for you. That truck was really fast last night. It looked like it hadn't lost a thing.
Yeah, so far so good. Bono and these guys have got her tuned up. This Cessna Tundra's fast, and we'll see if we can't keep this thing flying tonight and get us another win.
What did you think when you were behind your teammate Christopher Bell and his left rear tire went down early on?
Yeah, I was giving him a high five from in here, just saving that thing and holding on to it. So I'm glad that he can still continue to race on, and hopefully he can get himself back in position here to get back up front with us and race us for a win.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, as some pitted and some did not, that leaves Ross Chastain out front. Stage 2 when we come back. Getting ready to go back green in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ross Chastain, Brandon Jones, Parker Kligerman, Cass Gralla, Justin Haley, Friesen, all pitted on lap 34. Didn't come at the end of the stage, so they're out front, Mike.
How about that top 10, Phil? That's exactly what we're looking for out of stage race. It's going to be interesting to see if these guys can take advantage of their strategy and hang on.
Look at Kyle back there in the 11th spot, back in the 6th row.
Brandon Jones on the inside gets a great jump up in front of Chastain for the lead. It's Parker Kligerman down there on the bottom, side by side with Chastain for second.
John Hunter Nemechek, that black 8 truck went around the high side, made it 3 wide.
There are a lot of fast trucks in the middle of the field looking for someplace to go.
And there's nowhere to go. They're 3 wide back there, Vince. What an amazing scrum we have. These guys are all over each other.
On board with Matt Crafton.
Right behind Ben Rhodes and that Safe Flight truck.
There's Crafton in that bright yellow truck on the inside.
Cody Coughlin moves up the racetrack, forces one of those Red Horse trucks. Looks like Timothy Peters. Really high.
How about on board with Kyle Busch?
Bottom of 3.
Oh, giving Cody Coughlin a bump.
That was well before they got to the corner.
For the lead, Kligerman inside of Brandon Jones.
Phil, this is something we saw last night out of the 75 truck. He had a lot of great speed, not only in the short haul, but also in the long run. Ross Chastain, he's been strong as well. These are 2 trucks that are legitimately top 5 contenders. They use the track position, and they're taking advantage of it.
And you can see right there, Parker Kligerman, a former winner here in this series. that year in 2012. Fought for the championship right down to the very end.
His crew chief, Chris Carrier, very experienced. A lot of confidence as you see Christopher Bell in that 4 truck still trying to get back on the lead lap.
That's Stuart Friesen in the 52 truck there that Ben Rhodes flies up in front of. I think I saw the 52 truck bounce off the outside wall. He had some challenges in qualifying. Wow, he almost wrecked that truck. See what happens to him here.
So he was just sliding sideways and ran out of room. Got into the outside safer barrier.
Stuart Friesen is a dirt racer from Canada, and you run into the corners here in Charlotte at 180 and the thing jumps out from underneath of you. That's a thrill ride you don't get very often on dirt.
There's not a lot of cushion here at this racetrack, other than the safer barrier.
Kyle Busch scraping the wall as well. Watch that black number 51.
Oh, just kissed it.
That right rear corner of that Toyota got into the outside wall. Sometimes that can affect the side force on these trucks. They really swing that right side of the tail over a little bit to increase the side force with these trucks.
Busch into 6th, and he's got his eye on 5th as he moves inside of Timothy Peters to get back to the top 5. Peters not going to give it up easily, and doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I like so much about this track, Phil. You run 2 and 3 wide, there's nowhere to go if you got a fast truck like Kyle Busch. You got to bide your time. You got to be patient and look for holes. And that's exactly what he's having to do now. And you can see Peters running a different line. He didn't like the way his truck felt on the bottom, took it up to the top side.
See.
Kyle drove it hard into the corner, but couldn't quite clear Timothy on exit of 2.
Gets it done there into turn 3. Takes that spot away. Put Busch up into the top 5.
There's Ben Rhodes on the bottom of that 27 truck trying to get under one of his teammates, Grant Enfinger, the 98. Good strategy, put Grant Enfinger up in the top 10 for this most recent restart.
Yeah, we saw that 98 truck, on pit road getting some adjustments early in the race, got some track position, but they're not able to hang on to it right now. He's falling back.
There's the leader, Parker Kligerman, his first laps led in a Truck Series race since Talladega 2013. And there's Johnny Sauter taking a look around the outside. Sauter restarted, remember, with 4 tires. He restarted 12th. He's on the move, and this is for the lead.
Johnny Sauter looking for a stage win here.
Drives around Kligerman. How smart is Johnny Sauter? The veteran knew what he had, didn't he? Talked about prior to the race that he had something special for him tonight, able to drive around and take the lead.
See, Kyle Busch now has made his way around John Hunter Nemechek up to the 4th spot.
Johnny Sauter out front at Charlotte. Last year's series champion, trying to score his first win of the season.
Connect to adventure. Connect to excitement. Camping World is here to get you and your crew ready for race day. Get on the road and connect to new thrills with savings on all RVs in stock. Like this new 2017 Mallard M27. Now only $22,995. Don't miss Grill Fest, May 18th through the 21st. Shop 4-day product specials including great deals on grills. Plus, enjoy Good Sam Elite membership with every RV purchase. Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shop campingworld.com today.
Okay, so the new Ford F-150 with its high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body just blew the doors off the competition. Now it's time to blow their tailgates off, too, by adding the new, more powerful next-generation 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine and an all-new 10-speed transmission, cranking out more power and acceleration, more efficiency at the pump, and the most torque of any half-ton pickup. This is the Ford F-150. Boom.
And that's how restrictor plates reduce air intake. Moving on, drag is one of your biggest competitors. It slows you down, so make sure your car is streamlined. And don't forget to get an edge with drafting. Take advantage of the high-pressure air between your car and the one in front. Then you can slingshot.
You guys taking notes?
At the track, in the classroom, and online. Get special ticket offers for kids at NASCAR.com/KidsTix today.
Tomorrow,
Monster Energy All-Star Race.
Let's see who wins $1 million.
The biggest stars.
Stock car racing's greatest drivers square off.
The fastest cars.
Green flag.
And $1 million on the line.
3 wide.
One of the most celebrated nights in NASCAR. A full night of racing starting at 4:30 Eastern. The Monster Energy All-Star Race. Tomorrow on FS1.
Normally in the World Outlaws, you got those wings on your sprint cars, and it works just fine. But these this is the Outlaw Fasteners car, and I don't think that's what they had in mind with the back end.
I think they'll outlaw that. I don't think you're allowed to do it. It looked like Kaz Grala and possibly the 99 truck of Brandon Jones had an issue, and you can see the Outlaw Fasteners Chevy for Grala's got some issues in the back.
Yeah, they'll have to repair that. They will not let that truck run without that bed top.
I think they can get that pushed down, Phil, and get it back into action.
Get it taped down, I think they'll be fine.
Grala did a nice job last week at Kansas. She's getting better and better all race long, and I see the spoilers intact. Just the bed cover is up in the air, and this guy has finally caught a break. Christopher Bell will be back on the lead lap. He got the free pass on this caution.
It took about 55 laps for him to get back on the lead lap, but now he's back in contention here.
Remember, Bell went a lap down when he had a left rear go down on lap 3. Had to come in, get that taken care of under green, fell a lap down, and has been fighting to get back on the lead lap ever since. And here's Kaz Grala coming to pit road to have that work done.
You see the tethers holding that bed top on. That's exactly what they're designed for.
You can see the letters were rubbed off the right side tires on that 33 truck, the Outlaw Fasteners truck, because evidently some contact probably got into the side of another truck, and it must have been Jones.
And there's some yellow from the wall too, I would think. Hermie, what's going on with Ben Rhodes?
Got really loose a couple times on the track field. He thought initially he had a flat tire, but he did get it back straight and made a couple of decent laps prior to the caution coming out. But to be on the safe side, they brought him down, put 4 tires on, sent him back on the racetrack. As you see, the repairs continuing to be done to the 33 of Kaz Grala.
And the 33 of Grala is on the 5-minute crash clock, so they've got 5 minutes to get that truck repaired and get back out and reach the minimum speed.
What a great save Rhodes made in that 27 truck when he was slipping and sliding with those tires. We thought he was into the outside wall. He was able to hang on to it. There you see the Safe Flight Toyota. Check this out. Watch what he does here. Anytime you smoke your tires at 150 miles an hour, you got your hands full.
You rarely see a truck smoke tires without spinning, and he certainly did that.
That's just some great driving right there. See if we can look and see how Grala wound up into the outside wall.
Here he is battling for 10th.
Yeah, the 99 of Brandon Jones was on the inside. He got loose, took himself and Kaz Grala into the outside safer barrier.
That's a tough break for the rookie Grala, trying to gain experience and knowledge, but hopefully there's not enough damage to that 33 truck that they can't continue to learn and work. And you can see sometimes you got to get with it.
The 99 of Brandon Jones came in for repairs as well after that contact with Grala, and you see he's still going to have to come back in and get some more work done.
These guys are on the crash clock. That means they only have 5 minutes to repair their trucks on pit road. They'll have to make a decision about when they just say, that's close enough, let's try to make minimum speed and catch another caution so that we can get our trucks dialed in better.
I like that call by Rudy Fugel. Nothing to lose, really. Got the free pass. He would line up to the tail end of the field anyway. Why not put some tires on now and then see if you can maybe get up into the top 10, get some more stage points.
The 98 of Grant Enfinger penalized for having crew member over the wall too soon. There's a look at Enfinger, so he'll go to the tail.
They were under the hood of that champion truck, Vince. It looked like maybe the front end was bottomed out, putting some rounds in the front earlier. been able to remain on the lead lap along with TJ Bell. TJ's running in the 21st position. Another guy that's done a nice job of just soldiering along and staying on the lead lap.
Johnny Sauter will have the 51 of Kyle Busch right back in the second row. Whether Johnny picks the inside or the outside, Kyle Busch will restart from the third spot.
17 laps remaining in this second stage.
I love stage racing, man. It breaks up the race. It gives you points in the race to look forward to. We've already seen a great mix-up in the running order thanks to the stage strategy these teams have used. Makes it a fun night.
Johnny Sauter in that 21 took the lead from Parker Kligerman in the 75. Remember, Sauter had those fresh tires, and he went right through the field after restarting 12th. Got up there and got the lead, and Kyle Busch on 4 tires as well on the inside of row 2. How about Christopher Bell back on the lead lap now, Hermie?
A couple things on the 4, Vince. Earlier tonight, the flat left rear tire was a puncture. That was confirmed by crew chief Rudy Fugel. The issue with the 4, when he was out front, the truck was too tight. Since he's been in traffic, he's been way too loose. So now they're having to adjust his truck to be in traffic. So we'll see how they balance that as he tries to make his way back to the front.
Keep an eye on Bell for sure, as one of the fastest trucks was the pole winner, but has been back in the pack since lap 3. Pace vehicle is off. Sauter and Kligerman on the front row. Back green.
Great start by Johnny Sauter. Brings Chastain with him. They're both going to clear Parker Kligerman.
And that's going to box Kyle Busch in behind Kligerman.
Crafton going around the outside. Looked like Kligerman spun the tires there at the start. And that outside line moved and the inside did not. Kligerman moves up and Kyle Busch slips right past him.
How about the job that 66 of Ross Chastain has done here tonight?
And Kligerman, both of a couple of guys we don't see running up in the front. Lately, they've taken their trucks and got them in a position through their strategy and have taken advantage of it.
How about that 16 of Ryan Truex right there, running in the 4th spot ahead of Kyle Busch?
Well, we saw after the test here a couple weeks ago that he was going to be, wow. Check out Christopher Bell aggressively to the bottom of the racetrack, taking that spot away from the 22 truck of Austin Wayne Self. Whoa, what happened on the front?
Saw some smoke. Maybe a little contact.
Christopher Bell already up to the 15th spot as they crossed the line that last time. 3 wide on the exit of 2.
Clean up a little crash clock that we mentioned earlier. The 33 has reached his minimum speed. He is back up and active, but the 99 of Brandon Jones has gone to the garage.
Look at Moffitt around the top of Austin Hill. These trucks are running inside the top 15, and it's a mess.
Chastain in that 66 is third. That's Truex down now on the inside of Chastain, and Kyle Busch on the outside, 3 wide.
All of a sudden, Ross Chastain found himself in the middle of a sandwich. How about Timothy Peters? Really struggled in practice yesterday. Got a good top 10 qualifying effort and running up here in the top 10, just outside the top 5.
There's Peters in that 17. Crew Chief Chad Kendrick told me, he said, we've struggled with the short run speed, but if we can get a good long run, we feel like we're going to be right there. And well, we're seeing Peters on the move. Here's the 18 of Gregson, and the caution is out again.
Don't see anything on. Ooh.
Kaz Grala in that 33 for the second time tonight.
Well, the first time was none of his own making. He just got crashed down in turn 1 and 2. Looks like maybe got loose again and into the outside wall. Certainly the truck was damaged enough to where it wasn't handling properly, and you can see it's really not going to handle well now. I don't know if they could even make minimum speed with the damage to the rear of that truck.
Here's what happened.
See, Kaz was by himself, just got a little bit loose, as you mentioned, Michael, and just ran out of room, made some pretty significant contact with that right rear corner.
Kaz Grala, the winner at the season opener at Daytona this season, locking himself into the playoffs. But a tough night tonight for the 18-year-old Kaz Grala. Johnny Sauter leads at Charlotte. Under caution here at Charlotte, the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton will be out front to restart, and the tire does not belong in the infield grass. There's a problem. I believe that came off the truck of the 75 during their pit stop. Let's watch it.
He's one of the few trucks that was on pit road anyway, so there it goes, they're top of the screen. Go all the way towards the grass.
Even started to go out and get it. Nope, I better not.
Yeah.
So Kligerman will be penalized.
He'll have to start from the tail end of the longest line.
Flagman giving one to go.
It's interesting, Phil, before that last caution, Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton had been able to hold their own against Kyle Busch. Kyle was so dominant in stage one, but on that run there, I saw a lot of speed out of the 21 and the 88. Those guys were getting it done.
Remember, very, very little of this time has Kyle Busch been in dirty air. He led the first, after Christopher Bell had his flat tire, he led the rest of the way till he made his pit stop. Then he marched up through there after his pit stop. He restarted 11th, got up to 3rd or 4th pretty quick, but then he pretty much stagnated there.
How about some of the guys we talked about in our open tonight? Of course, we talked about Kyle Busch, right? And Busch is running 4th. It dressed Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. Those guys, they're currently running 1 and 2, and Ben Rhodes is in the top 10. I mean, a lot of names that we talked about. Chase Briscoe up there as well. No real surprises, but it's been jumbled around a little bit with the various yellows that have gotten us off strategy, and or at least differing strategies.
No doubt, and Ryan Truex continues to be a really great story in 2017 in Shigeo Tori's truck. He's currently in the 4th position, and there's Chase Briscoe, kid from Indiana. We know how good he is, how good he was at Kansas, bounced off the outside wall, got a top 5 finish. Feel like that he's a lock to go to victory lane this year. He just keeps getting better and better.
And remember, last year he won the ARCA Racing Series Championship, 6 wins, and that was really his first year in a pavement stock car.
Let's take a better look at some of the action on track with the Liberty Mutual spotter coverage.
Same thing in 3 and 4. If you are up there, you still have to get off the corner there. I don't care what they do get down to the corner. If they drive it in until Alice pops up, I don't care. You need to make sure you get off that corner. That 88 was driving in there right on your quarter panel, and he was just pushing up the racetrack in the middle. So, we need to make sure we get off the corner still. So,
good advice for the men up top, keeping an eye on their drivers. And some of these spotters have so much experience. Some of the drivers are so young. Really, it's the 2 of them kind of driving that truck, right?
Yeah, and in no way did he mean that personally when he called that other guy an idiot. That's spotter lingo. You gotta make sure you build your driver up and tell them that you're the man and everybody else out there doesn't know what they're doing.
Well, tune in to Radioactive on Tuesdays and on the Race Hub, and you'll hear a lot of that.
You better have some thick skin in this sport. Getting ready to come to green as they roll through 3 and 4. It'll be Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton out front, a couple of series champs.
Johnny Sauter in that Allegiant Airlines Chevrolet, Maury Gallagher's truck. This team is stout. Sauter's got the lead.
It's going to be a dash to the end of stage number 2. When they come get the green, there will be just 6 to go.
And Vince, those playoff points are so important, so valuable. Take them with you all the way to the championship round in Miami. And here comes Ryan Truex with a big push.
Wow. Truex shoved Sauter out front and then jumped to the outside to challenge for the lead himself.
Look at Matt Crafton making it through wide, going for the lead.
Crafton inside. Now it's he and Sauter side by side. Truex and Briscoe for 3rd.
How did Trace Briscoe get down there in 3rd?
The
this is some great racing.
5 to go in stage 2. Crafton in that bright yellow 88. A two-time winner here. Johnny Sauter in the blue and white, last year's season champ.
Teammates for a number of years at Thorsport Racing.
Really tough line. Crafton's trying to run. Look at Sauter. He's going to crowd him over. That's going to make it hard for Matt to get in the corner. Veteran move by Sauter, but Crafton's hanging tough on the bottom.
Kyle got stuck in the middle for a moment. That's Christopher Bell going by Kyle Busch. Remember, Christopher has a little bit fresher tires than most of these guys in front of him.
Bell spent most of this night a lap down. Now he's running 6th as you watch Sauter in the blue and white and Crafton in the bright yellow battle for the lead with 4 to go here in stage 2.
Crafton just won't go away. He's able to keep his right front right down on Sauter's left rear, holding him back.
Look at Kyle Busch jump to the outside of Chase Briscoe in that battle for a third.
Matt Crafton has never won a stage, and he's given it a run, and here comes Kyle Busch around the outside.
Remember, Johnny Sauter's never not gotten any stage points, and Kyle Busch goes to the middle and to the lead.
What a move from Kyle Busch, storming to the front from the outside and then diving in between Sauter and Crafton to take the lead.
Was he running 5th like a lap ago or something like that?
Kyle Busch said, Johnny, you and Matt can't figure this out. I'm going to figure it out for you. Drove right through him.
And there's Christopher Bell inside the top 5.
Oh, trouble behind them. John Hunter Nemechek into the outside wall after contact from Brett Moffitt.
Look at all the damage to Brett's truck.
Nemechek, maybe a right front tire down. He's headed to pit road.
That tire may have been down and caused him to slow. That's why Moffitt maybe got into the back of him.
Pit road is closed. But Nemechek has to come anyway. And Kyle Busch stretches it out front. He won the first stage, and he's less than a half lap away from winning stage 2. He won all 3 stages last week at Kansas. And he's done it again. The first 2 stages tonight go to Kyle Busch. And stage 2 is complete. Boy, a tough break for Nemechek
and Moffitt. A couple of trucks running inside the top 10 into the outside wall. Give a shout out to Austin Hill, who got the 10th position, that final stage point.
John Hunter Nemechek has already been to pit road and has lost a lap.
I think he still might have a rub there on the right front. There's the contact between Moffitt and Nemechek.
You see the damage to the front end of Moffitt's truck. The A truck must have slowed pretty rapidly for Brett to run into the back of him like that.
And that's a lot of contact for Nemechek. I'll be surprised if he can clear the crash clock.
Kyle Busch looked like he was going to finish that stage in about 3rd or 4th, and then he made this move to take the lead and the win in stage 2 at Charlotte.
Welcome back to truck racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As you can see, Kyle Busch in the 51 truck pitting here just won the 2nd stage, telling his team it got a little freer, but I was in traffic, so I didn't get a good read on it. 4 tires, fuel, and also a round of wedge in the left rear for the 51. As far as Johnny Sauter goes at the top of your screen, he was saying really good adjustments on that last stop. Let's do those again, but just don't get it too free. Hermie.
Matt Crafton likes his truck. 4 tires, a small air pressure adjustment for the 88. The 27 truck needs more front trip. It's air pressure and a track bar adjustment for Ben Rhodes.
Sauter slow on that stop, lost 5 positions.
Looks like they had some trouble with the left rear on Johnny's truck.
So Sauter came in 2nd. And here's the issue. Pretty clean around on the right side. And
watch that left rear, Vince.
He sits here for a while.
See, the left front is done. Just got the tire off the left rear, so that's where the holdup was.
And that's a painful pit stop for that team. Let's see if we can check in with Christopher Bell. Hey, Christopher Bell, Michael Waltrip up in the Fox booth. Do you copy?
I got you.
Well, you about crashed on lap 2, and you spent 53 laps a lap down. Now you find yourself right up front in contention for the win. How does the truck feel, and can you get the W?
Well, I feel like we've got a really good Sirius XM Tundra today. Qualified really fast, and then just had that issue there firing off. But I feel like we've got a good Tundra. KB's been awful good and pulling some KB magic as well. So we've got a shot at it. Our truck's good enough. We'll see if a driver can get it done.
All right, it's been fun to watch. Hang in there.
10-4, thanks.
I love we can just go down in the trucks and see what them boys are doing. He's just calm and collected and ready to go get a victory.
Bad news for Matt Crafton in the 88. Too fast exiting. He was running third. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Kyle Busch has won both stages. He's not eligible for championship points. Johnny Sauter's been second in both. He scored the most points so far tonight. Bad break for the 88 of Matt Crafton. Too fast exiting on that last pit stop. Here's his radio communication with crew chief Junior Joyner.
When I left, I tried to get too much leave, and I had 2 reds on, but I didn't think it, and I left it. My fault. But you drive right back up through there. Do not sweat it.
That's just some great cheerleading by his crew chief, Junior Joyner. And what that means, Phil, is he got too fast. His warning lights came on his dash. He didn't correct it in time. Remember a week ago, loose off turn 4, spins that truck around. This is un-Matt Crafton-like. Mistakes on pit road. A spin off the corner in Kansas. This team's struggling a bit right now.
And we still have 21 trucks on the lead lap, and we're inside our window to finish this race without another pit stop. And more than likely, all these teams have used all their tires with the exception of possibly Austin Cindric, who stayed out. So it's going to be very, very hard for Matt Crafton to contend for the win. Can he have a good finish? Yes. Contend for the win? I doubt it.
So these guys have another set of stickers left until the last run, right? So they get a caution, which everybody's going to have to come in for fuel. If it doesn't go green, then they're going to put on stickers. We'll have, what, like 19 lappers?
Everybody's good on fuel from here, buddy. It's going to be that game, you know. We'll be fine.
That's Ben Rhodes and his crew chief, Eddie Traconis.
That's the crew chief saying, okay, just drive. We just got to go. It's all about speed now. We've got plenty of gas. We got our tires we're going to live with. Yeah. We're going to the checker.
And actually, most teams should have one set of tires because they had 4 for the race. Started with one at each end of each stage, 1 more set in the pits.
Austin Cindric jumps out front, and Kyle Busch busts through 3 wide from the 3rd row.
Kyle wants no part of any dirty air. He's just going to go up there and get him some clean air right away.
But look at Ben Rhodes hanging tough on the outside. He's able to match Kyle through turns 1 and 2. They're even on the back.
Sauter on the inside in that blue and white truck, and that makes it 3 wide with Christopher Bell in the middle, and Sauter quickly takes the spot.
Remember Rhodes, just before this sequence of cautions, he was sideways about to spin out in that 27 truck. Now he's up there battling for the lead.
It's the 3rd and final stage. 46 laps remaining. Let's check in with Caitlin on that battle for second.
Well, Kyle Busch in the 51 truck so far been pretty happy. And obviously, every time he's entered in one of these truck races, we know he will be a strong contender. But talking with some of the younger drivers, Ben Rhodes, who's right behind him right now. We saw a strong battle with them last week at Kansas. Ben telling me he traded texts with Kyle Busch this week. Kyle giving him some insight on restarts and things of that nature. Ben saying anytime Kyle's in these truck races, he elevates all our performances, and we can all get advice from him. Certainly the drivers who are in the Toyota family, guys.
Thank you, Caitlin. And shaping up maybe for another battle between Kyle Busch and Ben Rhodes tonight.
Rhodes is aggressive. Look at him dive down into the turn. He knew he didn't have anyone on his outside, took it in, slid up the hill, grabbed the 2nd spot away. I like what I'm seeing out of that kid again this week.
How about Bell on the inside of the 4 truck, Sauter on the outside as they split Timothy Peters.
Wow. Christopher Bell told Mike there after that 2nd stage, I've got a fast Tundra, and we are seeing it. Haven't noticed it quite as much tonight because he's spent so much time in the back, but now that he is up front, we are seeing that speed.
Look at that big push from Johnny Sauter. They clear Austin Cindric in that 19 truck.
Matt Sauter, third, second, and second the last 3 races. And I think he's got him a top 5 machine for sure again tonight, sitting there running in that top 5 right now. Told us before the races, the best truck he's ever had here at Charlotte.
Well, and these are the fastest laps of the night, Phil. You talked about in qualifying, they'd be taped up on new tires. But when that sun goes down and they start drafting on these straightaways, we'll see the fastest speed since they've been to town. That last time by, Kyle Busch ran a 30 flat. Hadn't seen anything better than that.
Austin Cindric holding on to the 5th spot. He was the only one of our lead lap trucks that stayed out on the most recent caution flag.
Remember, he spun back on lap 33, was running inside the top 10, brought out the caution, and now there he is running up toward the front, competing for a top 5 as the caution is out, and Norm Benning brings it out in that 6 machine.
Looks like the right front tire is down on Norm's truck. Norm is running just outside the top 25 right now.
And the restarts are crazy, so we're going to get to the luxury of getting another one.
The restarts remind me of Daytona and Talladega, but only there isn't as much room here at Charlotte. They're 3, even 4 wide, and just bobbing and weaving. So much action.
As Benning limps to pit lane, the 7 of Brett Moffitt will get the free pass.
Look like
tried to take a shortcut through the grass there, it looked like.
Yeah, he hit the restart zone and caught the grass there.
Multicolored grass on the grill of his Chevrolet.
It's interesting, Phil, that he did that. I was out here last night running one of the school cars around on the option tires, and I came off turn 4 and I saw that painted blue down there in the grass where Norm clipped it, and I thought to myself, I wonder if that's paved or if that's grass. And if I had have drove off there to find out, I would have saw that it was grass, and it turned Norm around. So a little bit visually deceptive there, because the darker blue kind of makes you think maybe it's some pavement there, but there isn't.
I'm glad you decided not to do that.
I made a sound decision.
Yes, you did. Pit road is open, not too many takers. Austin Hill will be the first truck that makes his way down pit road.
He was running back, I think, about the 17th position. Had a good run in that second stage, finished in the top 10.
Our Camping World truck teams tonight paying tribute to a member of our broadcast family. Matt Cogan, a member of our trucks team the last 4 seasons, passed away unexpectedly last Saturday. Matt was the eyes behind the camera for most of the features and specialty shoots in our Truck Series broadcasts. Matt celebrated his daughter Ella's 6th birthday with her just last Friday, prior to his passing on Saturday. And we all have heavy hearts this weekend. Oh, what a great shot of Matt and Ella. We'll miss his always present smile and that firm handshake he always extended. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family during this time. Matt was 25 years old. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Less than 40 to go. Before we go back green, let's check in with Hermie Sadler.
Now that Christopher Bell has made his way back into contention, his focus and concern goes to restarts.
I got my kicked on that restart. I don't know, man. I was wide open and they were driving away from me. I wasn't spinning. Yeah, typical. We were in the middle, so you had them stalling you from the bottom and the top. I know you're wide open, but still good. You can't do anything about it. We filled the hole, so no worries.
He's on the inside line behind his teammate, Vince.
Keep an eye on it this time around as they get ready to restart again. As Hermie mentioned, Bell right behind his teammate Kyle Busch. Ben Rhodes is on the outside. Hey, it's Busch and Rhodes going at it again for the 2nd week in a row.
And remember the lessons Rhodes learned from Busch last week in Kansas. Can he take advantage of that and win this race?
Kyle out front, got a little shove from his driver Christopher Bell.
Matt Crafton trying to rally in the yellow truck on the way up on the high side. Got to make up some ground. Got to go, Phil. No time to wait. Can't be patient.
Yeah, 3 wide now on the outside of 3 wide.
Looking to make it 4.
Oh, it's not going to work, is it?
He did it.
Wow.
Looked like Enfinger might have gotten the wall behind him. A nice move. Matt Crafton already back up into the top 10.
When you make a mistake, you just seem to be a little bit more determined to get it back for your team. You know how hard your boys work on your truck. You want to give them all you can get.
Remember, Junior Jonas told him, don't worry about it, bud. You'll drive her back to the front.
Remember Crafton about 15 laps ago got that speeding penalty, too fast exiting. Took him to the back, and he is moving toward the front. Won this race a year ago, trying to get there again. Hasn't won since. It's been a long time since Crafton's been to victory lane.
How about that move by Ben Rhodes in the 27 around the outside of Christopher Bell? What a power move that was.
Bell fighting back on the inside.
Really impressed with what Ben Rhodes and Eddie Traconis and that group at Thorsport have been able to do with that 27 machine this season in the early going.
Wow. It's just like a switch flipped. I mean, he is strong, and he's strong all over the racetrack. He's able to run high, run low, make great restarts. Ben Rhodes is coming to his own.
I think that pairing of Eddie Traconis and Ben Rhodes is working over at Thorsport.
No doubt. That team is strong. But Johnny Sauter, remember, we talked all night about how good this 21 truck is. He's trying to grab the 3rd spot away from Rhodes.
Great battle, Sauter and Rhodes side by side for 3rd.
Guys, remember last year when they had the fight? Oh, trouble.
Oh, trouble, and it is...
Is it Regan Smith?
It is the 92 of Regan Smith.
Looked like he was racing maybe with a 22 of Austin Wayne Self.
Smith bringing it to pit road there on the access.
That was around about the 15th position, Phil.
Yeah, Regan's been so solid in that truck. There's the damage on the 22 of Austin Wayne Self.
And Regan Smith took it right to the garage. Watch it.
Just a little bit of a bobble, it looked like, from Austin Wayne Self. He didn't move down that much, but unfortunately the 92 was right there.
See if we can look from Justin Haley. Watch. I just think so.
Come on. You're all clear. We're right behind you. Caution.
Maybe Self just trying to stay off that outside wall, Phil. Maybe veered over to the left just a bit.
Cut you off. You did good. I mean, tell me what you really think. I mean, I thought I was still there. You know, you were still close enough. I mean, I had to run, and I felt like I was already still there. You were still there until you wouldn't have turned, man.
Yeah, that's just a situation where I think Regan needed about 6 inches, and when Austin came off that corner, got near the outside wall, came off the wall just a little bit. One of those racing deals. I couldn't pin that on Austin Wayne Self.
Yeah, it's really hard to blame either one of them for something like that. Sometimes you just argue for space, and unfortunately, Regan Smith's going to get the bad end of it.
It says right there on the back of the truck of Self, don't mess with Texas.
Well, you could hear in Self's voice how concerned he was that that Regan understood that was just a racing deal.
Yeah. And Regan Smith, as per NASCAR rules, has to go to the medical center. Checked out because of that contact. Getting closer to the finish. 32 to go at Charlotte. Kyle Busch out front. Tomorrow here on FS1, NASCAR's biggest stars putting it on the line for $1 million in the Monster Energy Series All-Star Race. Action starts at 4:30 with open qualifying, and then the All-Star Open at 6 o'clock, followed by the All-Star Race at 8 Eastern. All happens tomorrow, only on FS1. Now, All-Star qualifying was earlier today. Kyle Larson on pole, and Kyle Busch. A couple of Kyles will start up front of the All-Star Race.
I thought those speeds on pit road during that qualifying session.
Something else today. 1 to go until we go back racing here. Speaking of Kyle Busch, he's been out front today for 61 laps, and it's been another battle with Ben Rhodes. And Check out this radio from Rhodes and his admiration for what Kyle Busch is doing.
And some of these moves that Kyle makes, and he still is able to keep the rear end underneath him. Like, you don't see his truck bobble, like the truck is just stuck to the track. Like, I know he's a great driver, but the truck just doesn't magically stay there like that when I was so close to him, and he made those moves to get up right on my door in the corner. Like, I could never in a million years do that. I can barely enter as it is, even if they're all the way up by the wall.
Great stuff from Ben Rhodes and his assessment, not just of Kyle Busch and his talents, but that truck as well.
Well, the 20-year-old Kentuckian is really absorbing a lot, isn't he? He's really not only impressing us with the way he drives his truck, but also with what he's observing, what he's seeing, and how much he's learning while he's out there racing.
These last 2 weeks have been invaluable for Ben Rhodes. I think we're going to see a different driver from here on out the rest of the year.
Rhodes starting there in row 2 on the inside. Kyle Busch up front in the front row. And, of course, you see what Kyle has done here at Charlotte. 6 wins in the Truck Series. And our friend Todd Bodine won 6 times at Texas. Nobody else has won more times at a single track than those two. The green is out, back racing at Texas. 28 to go now.
Some wheel spin by Christopher Bell there. Looked like when he grabbed 3rd gear, it's going to allow Johnny Sauter to get up there beside him.
Bell got a rolling, though, didn't he, Phil? He's able to charge inside of Sauter, make that pass, leaving Ben Rhodes down on the bottom. Looks like Bell's got a good run on Busch.
By the way, you Ryan Truex fans, Truex was penalized during that exchange of caution for an uncontrolled tire. So now he's back in 16th.
How about Matt Crafton up to the 3rd position after that penalty? A couple cautions to go. Here comes Johnny Sauter, though, drives back by Matt Crafton.
I mean, you didn't give him much opportunity, much chance to win. He was back there, and there.
I didn't give him any chance to win. I gave him a chance for a good finish, but he has done an amazing job here. Still with 27 laps to go.
Look at the speed of those trucks. Man, it's amazing how fast they are.
Crafton's got a fast truck, but, man, he's got 3 fast ones in front of him, too. Johnny Sauter, Christopher Bell, and Kyle Busch.
These guys are running lap after lap at qualifying speeds. That's how fast we're going right now.
I was just going to say the speed we've seen, not just from those 4 up front, but even some back in the pack tonight has just been impressive.
Yeah, a lot of trucks as we ride along with Austin Cindric and the Ford on board. A lot of trucks came in, put their last set of tires on in this most recent caution flag. There's some fresher tires back in the pack now than what our leaders have.
It'll be interesting to see if they can fight their way up through. But when you're in a pack like this, Phil, your truck drives like it's got old tires on. The air is so violent, the trucks are just buffeting around. Really a challenge right now for these drivers.
Good look at Grant Enfinger just a moment ago inside the top 10. There's his teammate in that 80, or Matt Crafton in that 88. Move past Sauter for 3rd.
Yeah, what an amazing recovery. Quick for Matt Crafton, too.
Well, we saw him go almost 4 wide up in 3 and 4 and pass 3 or 4 trucks in one swoop. Took advantage of that momentum, and now it's got his eyes set on 2nd place, Christopher Bell.
Kyle Busch out front by 0.4 of a second. There's 98, Grant Enfinger.
How about a good run for Cody Coughlin, that 13 truck? Had a good run going last week as the 16 of Ryan Truex looks to the inside. Cody doing a nice job here, running with it up in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, and you know, I talked to that team out in Kansasville, and they said Cody's really getting a feel of the mile-and-a-half stuff. He hadn't really been comfortable on the tracks. They said they felt like they had made those trucks more stable for him, and he was really beginning to get comfortable out there in the pack. And you can see it running right here, racing for a top 10.
Boy, indeed, those guys. And Grant Enfinger, how about the work crew chief Jeff Hensley's done on that car, or that truck? He's pitted 7 times tonight to get work done, trying to get that thing to run a little bit better and handle better. And Grant Enfinger, there he is inside the top 10. Well done.
And I think Coughlin might be a little bit better than Enfinger, Phil. If he can just get around him, you can see he and Truex both are all over the back of the 98.
Yeah, there's a bit of a gap in front of Enfinger up to the 29 of Chase Briscoe. There's a couple seconds ahead of them.
Kyle Busch through turn 4, bringing it to the line with a 2.5-second lead. The Camping World, 20 to go at Charlotte. What's happening with that 16 of Truex, Hermie?
You guys mentioned a couple drivers that came down pit road and got 4 fresh tires. One of those trucks was the 16 of Ryan Truex. That team had a really good test over here at Charlotte a couple weeks ago. They carried a good speed to Kansas, had a good run, and they would be disappointed if they did not get at least a top 10 here at Charlotte tonight. And right now, he is bearing down on those teammates in the 13 and the 98.
Yeah, he's moving around the racetrack, trying to find a way. He's been following Cody Coughlin in that 13 truck for a number of laps, not able to do anything with him. Saw him run the high side over in 3 and 4 to see if he could gain some momentum.
9, 10, and 11. Enfinger, Coughlin, Truex. All chasing that man, Kyle Busch. It's been a dominating performance for Kyle tonight. 72 laps led. And his teammate, Christopher Bell. Boy, it's been an adventure for Bell. Went a lap down early. Now he's running second.
Underneath it here. I know we were running hard in his wake a little bit. Heated him up some. Right side looks fine. Left look okay. Back in your rhythm.
Yeah, I noticed, Phil, he lost about a second on a lap. I guess maybe the truck got away from him a bit, lost his momentum, thought maybe he had a flat. But that time by, he was within 1/10 of a second of what Kyle Busch ran. So the speed is back in the Ford truck. I don't think he has an issue. Now he's just got to focus and see if he can close in on that 51 truck.
I was talking to junior joiner Matt Crafton, who just went by his crew chief earlier today, and he said these tires really have a memory. If these tires, if you go out there and you really make that truck push for 3 or 4 laps, he said it's hard to get that right front to grip again. So good job by Christopher Bell getting that truck back underneath him.
And there is Crafton in that 3rd spot with Johnny Sauter right behind him.
That time by, the trucks running in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th all ran faster than our leader, Kyle Busch. Caught a little bit of traffic, lost some of his momentum, and it enabled everybody to gain on him.
Riding on board with Justin Haley in that 24 machine, just inside the top 15.
Solid effort for Justin Haley. Had a great top 10 last week at Kansas in his first start ever on a 1.5 miles. Just turned 18 a few weeks ago. Ryan Truex was able to get by Cody Coughlin, brought Austin Cindric with him, moved Truex up to the 10th spot.
Yeah, Coughlin tried his best to get around the 98, but has fallen back.
Laps remaining as you watch Enfinger and Truex closing the gap for 9th.
You can see Truex's truck is driving extremely well. He's hooking the white line there.
Only problem is it looks like that's Enfinger's line as well, and it's hard to make any progress on the 98 truck. I think he again, you got to give credit to Enfinger. He's been able to hold some trucks off. It looked like they had more speed than him. Ryan's going to go up the track and see if he can find some momentum up there.
Johnny Sauter using every bit of the track. And then some.
Oh, wow. So close.
Boy, it looked like he touched the wall.
So a couple of chips of paint.
Absolutely.
Coming off there.
Yeah.
And by the way, that time by, he was the fastest truck on the track. These guys, they're tough and they're fast, and they know they've got to hang it out if they're going to run down Kyle Busch.
Some heavy traffic. Look how much ground Ryan Truex, that white truck, lost to Grant Enfinger as they were lapping these trucks. There's Noah Gregson, the 18 truck, another one of the KBM trucks following Cody Coughlin in the 13. He's had a solid run here, running up in the top 15.
That's important for these young drivers, isn't it? I mean, run all the laps. Yeah, you'd like to be up there competing for the top 5, but the most important thing at this stage in their career, 4 races into it, this is the 5th race, just run all the laps. Guys like Gregson and Justin Haley, who you're riding with now, get that experience.
And we're going to have plenty of opportunities on mile and a half. This is our 3rd of 9 this season.
I talked about at the top of the show, Indiana's Chase Briscoe, Kentucky's Ben Rhodes. Those two cats have started less races in the Truck Series than Kyle Busch has won combined. So you add those guys together, they have started fewer than Kyle has won. That tells you their inexperience and the job that they're doing, being able to keep pace with this very talented racer.
You're riding on board with Kyle Busch. He leads the race with 10 laps to go.
See, Brett Moffitt, the 7th truck, had damage from an earlier incident with John Hunter Nemechek.
Kyle really has stretched it out now, over 2-second lead over Christopher Bell.
I was talking to Kyle in the garage area yesterday, talking about this truck. This is a truck he tested over here a couple of weeks ago. He said, every time I run this year, it will be a new truck. And I'll kind of do a baseline for him, and then we'll put that truck into inventory. I think this is going to be a pretty good one.
They just announced Kyle run a couple of other races later this season as well, and another truck in the KBM stable, truck number 46. Todd Gilliland's going to run a couple of races in that truck, and we'll see Kyle in it at Kentucky and Bristol, along with Pocono and Michigan.
Austin Cindric into the top 10, Phil, drives around Grant Enfinger. Enfinger's truck's really starting to fade now.
Austin trying to get 2 top 10s in a row here on the mile and a halfs on the day of his high school graduation.
That's a good day for that young man.
And Cindric's another one of those we put into that category, just gaining experience lap after lap after lap. And maybe by the second half of the season, they can start running up a little more consistently toward the top 5 instead of just angling for top 10s.
That's Ryan Truex you see in that white truck just ahead of Cindric. That's where his eyes are focused. Go up there and get one more spot.
Oh, spin 44, Matt Mills, and the caution is out.
Ooh, right in the middle of the racetrack. What an amazing job those guys did to avoid him. Again, we have the good fortune of seeing it from this end. They're looking at smoke when they come around that corner.
You can't see through that smoke either. You just have to rely on your spotter and don't panic. You've got to just be patient and guide your way through. Mills was running in the 22nd spot. Top 20 run last week in Kansas. He was doing a good job again tonight. It got away from him, giving these guys up front one more shot at the victory.
Kyle Busch's 2.5-second lead gone. Absolutely, bam. Just like that, it's evaporated. Gives Bell and Crafton and Sauter, some of the others, another opportunity to grab this win. As you look at Mills and
Chase Briscoe goes around the outside.
Close call right there.
Yeah, Austin Cindric also goes around the outside. The rest of these trucks going down on the inside.
Right on board with Cindric.
Right, go. Back down. Caution is out. Good job, man.
When you hear that tone, you don't need to hear words. You know something big's happening ahead. And when you're down in the banked corners, Vince, like we saw Cindric there, you can't see around the turn. You're really relying on your spotter to get you that word in a hurry. Leaders stay out.
So they'll cross the line this time, and that'll be 5 laps remaining. So we're going to have a shootout to the finish. But first, pit stops. Hermie.
29 of Chase Briscoe coming down pit road, started outside pole, and they just said on the radio, we got to come get these tires. They're pumping up the air pressure, 2 pounds on the right, an extra pound on the left. They say that's the only shot we've got is to try to come in and get these tires.
I like it.
Yeah, I like having some fresh tires here for a handful of laps left.
Yeah, let's throw a Hail Mary. They were back in the second half of the top 10. Feel like they got a fast enough truck to make some moves. Looks like there's going to be 17 trucks on the lead lap. Some of those pitted, so maybe he can restart back around the top 10 and gain some positions.
Kyle Busch has dominated tonight, led 85 laps. Johnny Sauter has led 22. No one else has led double figures tonight. Our pole winner, Christopher Bell, on pole for the third time this season, but just 3 laps into it, had a left rear go down, ended up spending the first half of the race a lap down, and now he's found himself in second as he's fought back.
Well, you don't have much fuel left, so you have to keep the box full as you're getting ready to come to it. So you're flat. When you're getting ready to accelerate, you're flat, and the gas is running out of the box. So you got to shake it back and forth really, really good to make sure your box is full of gas in the back as you're coming to the green. 10-4. 10-4.
Shake it real good.
Yeah, he's talking about the fuel pickup, which is in the right rear corner of the fuel cell. When you're on the bank running at pace car speed, you don't, that fuel will run away from that pickup. You got to shake it and get that fuel over in that box.
Chase Briscoe penalized. Came through too many boxes, went through too many boxes, I should say, on exit.
He's going to need another caution to overcome that and get a top 10 finish, because they'll have to start back of the field. You can see Bell needing all the information he can get, Phil. I think that what we saw in that last restart, he stumbled, and it was literally a stumble from the carburetor not getting gas in it. He couldn't go, lost ground. He recovered quickly. Remember the charge he made off turn 2 right to Kyle Busch's tailgate? But if he doesn't have that stumble, maybe he's able to stay side by side with Kyle and grab the lead.
Right now, our top 7 trucks are all on the same pit strategy. They all pitted back on lap number 83.
It's going to be a shootout. 3 laps to go when they cross the line, and it's Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell, a couple of KBM teammates, with Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton in row 2, Ben Rhodes, Timothy Peters in the 3rd row.
I just don't know if they can make it or not, Vince. the volume's going to go up on this restart, and they're going to be 3 and 4 wide. It's going to be crazy.
The green flag waves.
A little bit of a tire spin for Kyle Busch, but he got it going. Good push from Johnny Sauter.
3 to go at Charlotte. Kyle Busch so hard to catch out front.
Remember, all these passes mean positions and points.
And Sauter and Bell, right there, they came in 1-2 in points tonight, and now they're battling for second.
Oh, good run off turn 4 for Johnny Sauter. Look at that run. He's able to clear Bell. Can he run down Kyle Busch?
2 to go.
How about Timothy Peters right now running in the 4th spot? Look at the run Ryan Truex gets on the bottom of the racetrack. Pulls beside Crafton.
He's going to go for Peters.
What a run he got off of turn 2.
For 4th. Truex inside, Timothy Peters outside. Truex is going to get him, closes the door.
Look at all those trucks back there.
How are they making it?
It's the final lap at Charlotte, and Kyle Busch has set sail. Johnny Sauter in 2nd, Christopher Bell in 3rd.
How about that white truck of Ryan Truex in 4th, Timothy Peters in 5th.
Through turn 4, Kyle Busch is going to do it again. His 7th win at Charlotte. What a great battle for the final positions. While Kyle was out front, man, everybody else was digging.
Pretty amazing accomplishment to win 7 races at one track. But I got to tell you, Phil, there's a pretty amazing accomplishment. The rest of the field made it back to the checkered flag without crashing. That was the biggest battle, side by side, guys rubbing on each other, and they all made it.
There's some great driving by these guys. And what an amazing performance by Kyle Busch.
Back-to-back wins. You know, last week he kind of fell in his lap. Not tonight, but he went out there and earned every single bit of it, Caitlin.
Yeah, he certainly did, Vince. Bono Mannion, crew chief for Kyle Busch. How was your team from road crew to pit crew able to execute this weekend and help Kyle get this win?
Yeah, it's fairly simple. It's Kyle Busch. It's, you know, he's about the best in the business for sure. You know, it's just a privilege and an honor to be on top of the box, you know. It's like the drivers at Talladega, they say they're the lucky ones to hold the wheel. I'm just a lucky guy that sits on the toolbox with Kyle driving. So, but great team effort. This company is, me and I have been here a little over a year now, and it's just a great company and good learning experience for me. And great to work with Kyle and learn how focused and passionate he is about race trucks and his race team and about all his racing he does.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Well, last week when Kyle Busch knew he wasn't going to win that race, and then Ben Rhodes had the problem, and Busch inherited the victory, he said, I didn't do any donuts. I just got the checkered flag to take back to the team. Well, he earned it tonight, and, buddy, he burned it down. Kyle Busch wins all 3 stages for the 2nd race in a row. And how about Johnny Sauter? 2nd in all 3 stages tonight.
Busch swept up in Charlotte, huh? Took all 3 stages. 2nd week in a row.
2nd week in a row.
That's the same thing in Kansas.
6 in a row.
Going to collect that checkered flag.
He's made a mess of the front
He
straightaway.
did some damage to his tires on the rear of that truck.
Brand new truck, and Kyle initiated it in fine fashion.
Look at him posing.
Tomorrow night, he'll run for $1 million in the All-Star race. The cloud of victory. Kyle Busch wins at Charlotte. Kyle Busch hits the jackpot tonight. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Kyle's 48th career Truck Series victory and his 7th here at Charlotte. No driver in the Truck Series has ever won more races at a single track. 2nd place tonight in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 was Johnny Sauter. Hermie?
Well, thank you, Vince. Johnny, you told me early today, probably the best truck you've ever had at this racetrack. You got a couple shots at the 51 with a couple late restarts. Any chance or anything you could have done to take him down?
Well, we tried, you know. I think we had a really good restart there on that last one, which is good because I've been struggling on restarts the last couple weeks. But so proud of everybody at GMS on our Allegiant Travel Chevy. Just that middle run, I thought we were phenomenal, or the 2nd stage there. And, you know, I maybe didn't call for a big enough adjustment for the final stage. And we could have pretty good fire-off speed, but I'd get too tight. And it wasn't really like a chassis tight. It's more of a compliance tight, you know, just high frequency over the bump. So I don't know if there's obviously some stuff we can do to make that better. But just proud of everybody. And I want to give a shout out to my little guy. He pretends he's Ryan Dungey. I guess he crashed his dirt bike today. So hope he's okay, and say hi to all my wife and my kids. But just proud of everybody. Great effort tonight. This is the best finish I've ever had at this racetrack. It's been an Achilles heel for me. So, you know, we keep knocking on the door. We're there every week, and we're going to some really great racetracks, you know, that I really, really enjoy. Short track racing, Iowa, Gateway, some of those places. So just proud of the effort. We're knocking on the door. We just got to get a little better.
It's Johnny Sauter. He finished the 2nd. Let's go to Caitlin, who's in victory lane.
And Kyle Busch is climbing out of that winning 51 truck, has once again found victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for a 7th time. And it was a great day overall for Kyle Busch Motorsports with Christopher Bell also in the top 5. How does that kind of validate all the efforts at your organization and with these trucks?
It means a lot. These guys, they pour their hearts and souls into our trucks and what we do with our Toyota Tundras, and it's awesome to get Cessna back-to-back wins here and back to victory lane again. And, of course, just a true testament to Rowdy Manufacturing, everybody at the chassis shop doing a fantastic job, and Kyle Busch Motorsports, all the guys, Bono, everyone on this 51 team. They've done a great job. I can't say enough about Rudy and everybody on the 4, as well as Marcus on the 18. We're all really working as a cohesive group, and guys are doing a great job. So, you know, for us to be out front most of the laps tonight, it was fun. It was challenging there in that middle section of the race. That was kind of chaotic. I didn't know what was going on half the time, but we made it through there and then got to the front and was able to win this thing. So just real proud of the whole team effort.
Congratulations, Kyle, a 7-time winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Caitlin, Christopher Bell in the teammate to Kyle Busch. What an up and down night for you guys. You start off leading the race, flat tire, you come down. Takes you a long time to get back on the lead lap. A constant uphill battle. Then you got back with a shot at the end. What was the difference between you and the 51 those last couple restarts?
Well, I struggled on restarts, man. I don't know why. It just seemed like one time I'd spin the tires, and then the next time I wouldn't spin the tires, and I just couldn't get going. So struggled taking off. Just overall pretty bummed that I ran third with a second-place truck. But, you know, our Sirius XM Tundra was really fast today. Rudy did an excellent job with everybody. Yeah, man, everything but wrecked right there. But it's a bummer. We had a really good, really fast truck. Feel like we definitely should have ran second with it. Glad my boss was able to win, but bummed we ran third.
The Ford truck rebounds for a third-place finish, Vince.
Thank you, Hermie. Kyle Busch Motorsports first and third tonight. And how about these numbers? We mentioned Kyle having won now 7 times in the Truck Series here at Charlotte. 8 Xfinity wins, but he's never won in a Cup car here at Charlotte. He'll have a chance to do it tomorrow night in the All-Star race.
That's really hard to believe, too, but I would not put it past him. That guy is so good at this. Well, everywhere, really. There aren't that many racetracks that he hasn't won on, but it's kind of ironic that as good as he is in the other divisions, he hasn't won a Cup race here.
He'll go for $1 million tomorrow night in the All-Star race. What a great way to capture the weekend. The trophy goes to Kyle Busch. He wins the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race for the 2nd week in a row. Followed it up on the 1.5 miles at Kansas with the win here tonight at Charlotte in the North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Down to Hermie.
Well, Vince, a team and a driver that is quietly building a lot of momentum, putting a nice season together. Ryan Truex, 6th at Kansas, 4th at Charlotte. What has been the big difference in the surgence of this race team?
Hard work, honestly. This team, Scott Zipadelli, all these guys have just been working hard. I mean, just thrashing late hours, up early, building new trucks, rebuilding trucks, spending time in the wind tunnel. Me and Scott we're really kind of tuned in with each other now, and we kind of came up the same way, kind of in our older brother's shadows a little bit. So we really get along well, and he's just so calm. He keeps me so calm. I get angry, and he's just like, all right, you're fine. I've never heard him like yell or get angry. He just pumps me up. But this Joe Gibbs engine on restarts was just amazing. I got to thank Toyota, Sea-Watch, Bar Harbor. I thought I was going to get the lead when I got outside of Johnny there on that one restart. I got a sniff of the lead, so we're making progress. And what's good about this run is we actually belong to run here. Last week, people could have said, it was a fluke. It was a smooth track. People got lucky on restarts. But to come here tonight, back it up, go to the rear, drive back to the front, and finish 4th says a lot about this team and how much fire we have and how much we're willing to put in. And next week, hopefully we get 2nd, Dover, or win. And next time first. Just keep inching our way to the front.
So top 5 for Ryan Truex. Caitlin?
Well, Hermie, another driver with the top 5. Timothy Peters telling me it's like a win. How did this run here today give you a big boost of momentum going to Dover?
We built our notebook. You know, Atlanta was okay. Kansas last week was kind of a little bit of a disaster, and to come back here and rebound, it just goes to show you the effort that everybody puts in at Red Horse Racing on these Tundras. We wasn't very good yesterday, and Chad and the guys regrouped, and, you know, again, today finishing 5th, yes, it's disappointing, but the best finish of the year, and it's like a win for us, and we can build on this going to Texas. So just proud of everybody, proud of the guys on pit road, Triad Engines. 10-year anniversary today for Sarah and I, and was wanting to get her a win and try to get in victory lane to give my buddy Jacob Plott a shout out. So I hope you're doing good. We just build on and go to Dover.
Nice work today.
Well done indeed by Timothy Peters. But that is the man of the hour. Kyle Busch does it again. While young Brexton helps dad celebrate in victory lane, take a look at our point standings through 5 races this season. Johnny Sauter still on top, but Christopher Bell and Kaz Gralla, the only championship contenders who have actually gotten wins, so they're the only 2 that are locked in. Remember, 8 make it to the playoffs.
Johnny Sauter's been so consistent, 53 points tonight.
Our next race in the Truck Series is Friday, June 2nd at Dover. Look forward to having you with us for that one. And then tomorrow, right here in Charlotte, racing action continues. NASCAR Race Day starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. All leads up to the Monster Energy Series All-Star Race at 8 o'clock. Now stay with us here on FS1. The NHRA Topeka qualifying It starts now. Kyle Busch, the winner of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at Charlotte.